Thanks for your company on Joy News today. Now, the vetting of President Akufo-Addo's ministerial nominees continues today, and currently before Parliament's Appointments Committee is the Minister-designate for Transportation.
My relationship with and maybe recuse myself from asking him questions. The nominee happened to be my personal assistant when I was the General Secretary of Accra House of Oak Chapters Committee. So because of that, it will be difficult for me to ask a question. But let me say, when he was giving a brief about himself, he totally failed to talk about his Accra House of Oak connection.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I was trying to proceed to that angle when my Honorable Chairman stopped me. It is on my CV. I've stated my association with House of Oak in clear terms on my CV. Thank you very much.
That may cost you my vote, but all right, we will start from my left, Honorable Jatu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I want to ask, most of the accidents that occur on the lake is as a result of the stamps in the lake. Will you advocate for the removal of those stamps so that at least we are able to curb accidents on the lake? The water lake.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, this is a very delicate issue. I think that what we need to do on the water lake in terms of the tree stumps is to do navigation, to do touched ways, so that we will know the routes of the ferries. Then we may then go in and cut the trees up. But to go in holistic approach and trying to cut the trees in the whole, I think that is what is causing the problem. So we must have proper navigation is try to charter the ways of the ferry. Then we can cut the trees down, which of course I'm going to make sure that that is done. Thank you.
In February 2016, we had an accident with the ferry, the Yeji ferry, on the Water Lake. Also, the Ntuaboma bridge floater. We also had an accident there in 2016. Now there's another ferry in Dambai, which is in very bad states. Always management keep telling us that they are going to bring new ferry, and it's still not coming. They have alternatives. Can you assure this committee that if we are giving the nod, you will make sure that at least by next week or two, they will send an alternative there, to curb the problem?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, this issue has been brought to my attention when I was asked by the President to represent him in the ministry. I can tell the Honorable Member that a ferry has been repaired by the previous government, and per the instruction from the Chief Director, which he's informed me, a new ferry, the repaired one, has been sent to Dambai as I'm talking. So the Honorable Member shouldn't entertain any fear. There's a ferry there now that they are using. Thank you very much.
Then the last one has to do with the metro mass transport. They have a policy that the moment the car is broken down, you can't take your money even if you are in a hurry. There's nothing to give you back your money. Will you consider changing that policy?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I don't know the contractual agreement between Metro Mass and their passengers, but I can assure the Honorable Member that this is a question that is brought before me. If by God's grace I'm confirmed by this Honorable House, it's a question I will take it to them, find out why they are doing that, and if there's any solution, you find to that.
Oh, but you have just finished. Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kweku Ofori-Siama. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman.
I think you are going to a very big ministry that is critical to the development of the Ghanaian economy. One major area that you will be overseeing is the ports. So I would focus my questions on the ports. People complain that one of the major bottlenecks to doing business in Ghana is clearing goods at the ports. If we increase the efficiency and speed with which those goods are cleared at the ports, it would enhance the competitiveness of Ghana as a gateway to West Africa. Do you have any ideas as you go to the Ministry of Transport, what you intend to do to increase the efficiency at the ports?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, one thing, if by God's grace I'm confirmed, I intend to do is trying to segregate container handling from other activities at the port. Secondly, I will advise the GPHA to look strictly into their technological involvement in terms of technology concerning arrival and cargo situations. And I'm sure that by doing that, we will be able to have total automation, which will reduce time and cost of doing the business, and by so the efficiency may be achieved.
Just gone by is the ongoing vetting process of Minister-designate for Transport Kweku Ofori-Esiama. And before we came in studio, he was answering questions on how he would improve the management at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. So away from that, but still in Parliament, the majority members in Parliament have warned the IMF is likely to punish Ghana over the alleged missing 7 million Ghana cedis from the state coffers. Speaking at a news briefing this morning in Parliament, Chairman of the Finance Committee, Dr. Mark Osei-Sibe, insists the 7 million Dr. Bawumia claimed missing from the books was hidden from the IMF and other institutions, which has now been revealed to the new government by a finance ministry staff after NDC lost power.
How did this humongous deficit arise in spite of declarations to the contrary? What were staff at the finance ministry doing all this while? Now, the minority's reaction. In a response that could best be described as pathetic, the minority in Parliament sought to explain that the 7 billion of expenditures uncovered was due to reforms being undertaken on government contracts and expenditures, which is part of the gift mix project. So clearly, there's admission by the minority that the 7 billion cedis expenditure, which had been kept out of the purview of the books of government, constitutes rare expenditures that have been undertaken. So the deficit of 9.5% that we are talking about comes from data supplied by the Bank of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance. If you add on the 7 billion uncovered, then we reach the 11.5 that we are talking about as deficit for the year. The reaction by the former Deputy Minister, Ato Forson, which is sad and deeply worrying, depicts a team that is grossly unaware of the extent to which the nation's books may have been cooked to provide a false sense of good economic management and to deceive investors. More worrying is the fact that the former Deputy Minister attributed the arrears accumulation to reforms underway and the way in which data is captured. What the former Deputy Minister describes as creative accounting management is unethical and dangerous. The role of the IMF. We are of the view that given that the implementation of the External Credit Facility Program is still underway, the IMF stands in a better position to make some of these issues clear. As to whether this represents a breach of the ECF program conditionalities, we will know by the end of next week when the mission chief is expected to brief donors on his findings. We may recall that under the program, the government is not allowed to accumulate arrears. This may yet represent another serious breach of the program And if care is not taken, punitive actions could be meted out against Ghana. Let us not forget that a similar occurrence in 2000 led to Ghana being fined $39 million by the IMF. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, we are aware of data integrity issues in certain institutions in this country. This new administration has promised to come clean on data, and we strongly believe that it is about time we cleaned up all the data mess. The change that has been fostered by the good people of Ghana presents a very good opportunity for institutions to come clean on data. So we appeal to all to come clean before the 2017 budget is finalized and read. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Now, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been assuring Ghanaians about government's commitment to dealing with corruption. Delivering a lecture this morning in Accra on corruption, Dr. Bawumia intimated the passage of the Right to Information Bill as a step to fighting the canker.
Corruption is very central to the world's problems, and beneficial ownership is one of the surest ways to deal with this canker. It decapitates public trust in government and may deepen economic and political woes. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has reiterated his commitment to fighting corruption. Hence, the timing of this meeting is important. Our government has already made clear that we will be passing the Right to Information Act. We will make sure that a special prosecutor's office is set up to prosecute corruption, and we will amend the criminal code to move corruption from a misdemeanor to a felony. These are just some of the actions we intend to implement this year. The issue of beneficial ownership gained worldwide attention in the wake of the Panama Papers, which highlighted massive financial irregularities, among others. Statistics from the World Economic Forum and the World Bank show that some $1.25 trillion are paid in bribes annually, and 5% of global annual GDP, which is about $2.5 trillion, are lost through corruption. Oxfam also indicates that poor countries lose up to $170 billion yearly due to tax evasion, and concludes that a fraction of this amount could fund health services that could save the lives of almost 150 million children. Ladies and gentlemen, it is against these staggering numbers that the London Anti-Corruption Summit was organized in May 2016 to get countries to commit to helping fight corruption within their jurisdictions. Ghana's delegation was led by the former President, John Dramani Mahama, and actively participated in the summit. And I wish to use this opportunity to acknowledge this effort. I'm glad to inform you that Ghana, compared to her compatriots, has made tremendous progress after last year's summit in London. In April 2016, consultative workshops on beneficial ownership were organized for state and non-state actors, and the Companies Act has been amended, Act 920, to make provisions for beneficial ownership in Ghana.
Moving on, a swift intervention by the Ashanti Regional Directorate of the Electoral Commission averted a potential clash between election volunteers and some officials over alleged deduction in allowances. After almost 2 months of delay, election volunteers have begun receiving their money. At some pay centers in Kumasi, recipients raised alarm, accusing some officers of illegally deducting 20 Ghana cedis from the amount due each person. Sanity, however, prevailed following an order by EC Regional Director Srebwo Kwaku, asking alleged perpetrators to discontinue the practice. Erastus Asaridonko reports from Kumasi.
At the Oforikrom Center, long queues of angry people yelled at the pay officers as they heckled each other in an attempt to receive their money. EC officials counted cash to pay over 800 people. Each volunteer was expected to receive between 300 and 400 Ghana cedis, depending on their work schedule at the polls. Alleged deduction of 20 Ghana cedis from each person's money for what is described as appreciation caused a stir.
I officiate on view, so I was supposed to get 3.5. But right now, no, they have deducted 20 cedis from it. What I think is not fair.
For the Asokwa constituency, the POs, they are deducting 30 cedis. Because they are receiving 1,500 for their pay. I think for Oforikrom, we have about 273 polling stations. And if you calculate the amount that they are taking out from our money, is almost getting to 300 million. And it's not fair.
When I asked, what they said was it was a form of appreciation. They deduct 20 cedis, whether you like it or yes.
They told me to give them back 20 cedis. When they came to the room, they said it is a tradition.
I posed as an aggrieved beneficiary and demanded to know why they've deducted 20 cedis from my stipend. Without question or hesitation, two officials conferred with each other, after which one handed a 20 Ghana cedi note to me, supposedly as refund. After presenting the evidence to one of the supervisors, he offered this explanation.
It's a system whereby on table they will give you your money. What we know that these people, when they are taking them, they talk to them that when your allowance comes, at least you should give us something. But it's not fixed and it's not. It's optional. And this returning officer shouldn't have entertained that.
Word soon got to the EC director, Srebwo Kwaku, who intervened by ordering the unlawful deduction to be stopped. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaridonko.
You're watching Joy News today with me, Benis Abubedu. We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, I'll be telling you about how some rural communities in Ghana are using simple hand-washing techniques to help reduce cases of diarrhea and pneumonia by half the current infection rate.